Hello, this is Intuitive Anna Priscilla. Today I'm going to do a deck review of the Quantum Oracle with Sandra Anne Taylor. This is a fascinating deck. It's a follow-on from her earlier deck, the Energy Oracle, which has been a bestseller for many years and which I've used extensively. But she's expanded her use of energy and really works with universal laws and quantum physics in this deck. So it's a little bit complicated. So I'm going to use the guidebook here just to give you an introduction. So it's an extensive guidebook, very fat, lots and lots of information, beautiful little book. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is the intent of this deck, which she makes very clear in the first paragraph of her guidebook, first introduction. So let's read that. It says, one of the reasons I created the Quantum Oracle was to expand the presence and influence of the universal laws of the quantum world in your life. The first step towards understanding them is to know that everything is energy. Furthermore, the vibrational patterns that direct your energy can not only be read, they can also be changed. These cards are designed to reveal the alignment of present energy, universal influences, and future possibilities in your life and in the situation that you ask about in your reading. So this is an interesting introduction because it's talking about the quantum, the laws of the universe, and the first knowledge that we have is that everything is energy. So our states of mind, our intention, the cycles of life, which goes into cycles of a situation. People have their energies. Events have their own energies, and the spirit world has an energy. So this deck enables you to tune into the energy of any situation that you're in, and from understanding that energy to be able to extrapolate what the outcome may be. And she does this in the description of all the cards. So you can see in this book, each card has a description, talks about whether it's upright and reversed. She does use reversed meanings. So I'm going to just go through the main categories. This deck is divided into 7 different little groupings. The first grouping is consciousness. So this describes the consciousness, your consciousness at the moment, and how that particular consciousness is creating your reality, because one of the tenets of this is that your consciousness creates your reality. So you can see, for example, that optimism will create a certain reality of positive thinking. Present power will show you that you're in control, that you can use your power to create the world you want. However, dark thoughts will show that you're trapped in a labyrinth of negative thinking, and that you have to get out of that, or you're going to keep creating those same negative situations. So I won't go through all the cards. I'm just going to kind of give you an introduction, show you a few in each group. So the second group is energy. So this is the energy that you're manifesting, or that's being manifested around you. So if you manifest the energy of courage, then you're taking on a situation with a very positive, powerful energy. Or you may be in a situation that's very powerful itself, and that will require courage to deal with it. Or there's the energy of planning and action. So if you want to achieve something, you can't just sit around. You need to plan it and take the action. So you need to summon that energy of action. Now, fear is one of the most negative energies that we can tap into, although it can be life-saving. We do have the energy of fear for a reason, to protect ourselves from the unknown or for things that may threaten us. But it can also be a very debilitating energy. You can see here she's got the castle, everything is fine, but she's still on this cliff imagining all sorts of demons. So the energy of fear is palpable. You can smell it and feel it in people. But fear is not going to create anything more than more fear. The third grouping is the energy of intention. So what are your intentions? You may be showing one group of intentions on the surface, but you may have a lot of other hidden motivations. So this is an interesting grouping because it talks about the real intention of your behavior or your thoughts. So you may be having a reading about relationships and why people aren't coming towards you, but you may be wearing a mask so that you're not allowing people to see the real you. So again, your intention may be one thing, but the results may be something else. So this particular grouping shows how important understanding and being true in your intention. You can think you're exhibiting or intending one thing and get totally unintended consequences because of this sort of confused energy. So these three groupings are the what is going on internally within you that's affecting your reality or your outcomes. So rather than doing a reading and saying, well, will my boyfriend come back? You need to look at your consciousness, the energy that you're putting out, and your intention. So you may be conscious that you're not expressing any power in the situation. You're not standing up for yourself, or you may be overpowering in this situation. So these cards give you a chance to tune into what's going on within yourself. It's not it is a predictive deck in the sense that you can predict the outcomes by the energy, consciousness, or intention that you're displaying in the situation. But it's not a predictive deck in the sense of a fortune-telling deck, because honestly, the whole thing about energy and the cosmos and the quantum is that we create our reality. So this is a very empowering, but also gives you a lot of responsibility for your own life. So the second group of cards here are external, things that are external to you that might be affecting your situation. So the first group is people. This is all about your relationships with the people in your life. So you're bringing your energy of consciousness, energy, and intention into your relationships. So if your intention is to create a relationship where you're dominant and your partner's subservient, this is going to affect your relationships. But people also come into your life, so you're not operating in a vacuum. And this is, she calls it phase entanglement, where the energy of all of us interact with each other. So we're all part of the bigger whole. So, for example, family dynamics have a huge effect on how your life turns out. You know, maybe you had an abusive parent, or maybe you have a child who's lost themselves in drugs. There's all kinds of things that are going to affect your consciousness, your emotions, how you approach things. So other people have a huge effect on work colleagues, can have a huge effect. Someone who's undermining you all the time at work. This can have a huge effect on your inner life, but also your outer life. If you have a loving man who supports you, or a loving partner who supports you, you can have a loving man or a loving woman, or a loving partner of any sex that supports you. That's going to be a huge effect on your life and give you a whole different consciousness or intention or outlook or emotional energy. So someone who's loving and supportive is going to be someone who's going to help you be positive. So these are interesting because these cards show all the different relationships that we can be involved in. So the other group in this is events. So, world events around you can affect your life, but also it can show that, for example, you are in a period where you've achieved great things. And so this is a very positive energy that spurs you on to do other things. Or loss. loss of a loved one, loss of a partner, loss of a business, loss of a job will have a huge effect on your life. And this can show some of the results that will come into your life from, for example, a loss. Conflict is huge, a huge effect. Say you're having a big argument with someone, and that's going to also be reflected in your consciousness, your emotional energy, and your intentions. So you can see how it's all part of this huge web of internal and external influences. And then the other external influence that we discount a lot is the huge element of spirit. We're not only physical body with a mind taking part in relationships and events on the material plane, we're also living in a spiritual, energetic universe. So the universe is vast. We're part of one vast, big cosmic dance. So these other areas of our life may seem minor, but they're also about the lessons that we've come to learn on this planet or in this lifetime. So tuning into spiritual energy can affect your life greatly. Your higher self is always giving you messages that are in a different realm than your personal intentions or feelings. Intuition and manifestation. Here she's looking into a crystal ball. So we can manifest also by tuning into our intuition. Our intuition will tell us the energy that's appropriate for a certain time. We have the angels, so we have energetic spiritual partners working with us. So there's a lot of different, we have our ancestors, our families and friends that have passed into spirit, and our spirit guides. So there's another dimension to our whole being, our whole life. And so this deck really takes into account our inner life, our outer life, and then our spiritual life. But it also has a series of cards that are talking about cycles, because everything goes through a cycle. For example, a cycle of fear, something that made you fearful. You had an event, and that just kind of takes root, and you can't shake it off. And then it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it reaches a crescendo and hopefully starts to decrease. And then by understanding and having gone through that cycle, we can transform our consciousness and move on to a new understanding of, for example, fear. Well, we know life. A baby's born, it grows, we mature, then we start to decline in our old age. And then, of course, we have the transformation of death or leaving our body. So this is an incredibly powerful deck, and it takes a little while to understand it. She talks about the spiritual laws of manifestation, for example, the law of attraction, the law of phase entanglement, which has to do with our relationships. So it takes a little study and it takes a little understanding of what she's trying to get at. But this is a deck that can really, really dig deeply into what's going on in your life. So it's quite different from just throwing a few cards to ask, will my boyfriend come back to me? You need to look at all the things that you've manifested in this situation, your emotional energy that you're putting out, your intention for the relationship. What do you want from this relationship? Your consciousness of what went on or what you've created in this relationship, and then the different elements of the relationship, the events that took place in the relationship, and maybe the spiritual dimension of the relationship. And then how you started in the relationship, how it kind of reached a kind of a status quo, but then how maybe your love increased tremendously, but then something happened and things started declining. And then, of course, transformed the relationship for the positive and the negative. So this is a very interesting deck to explore. If you liked her energy cards, you'll love this deck. It's just taken them to the next level, as she does say in the introduction. So I hope that is a little bit of a review of this quantum oracle. it's a more mature deck, I would say, something for you to work with maybe when you're looking for a much deeper understanding of events. One thing I think is interesting is perhaps to do a reading by taking, we'll do one, take a card from each of the groupings. So I'm just going to take one and then we'll clear these and then we'll see what reading we got from doing that. Of course, you can shuffle in the normal way and just do a 9 card or 7 card or 5 card, whatever kind of spread you want to do. But I think it's very intriguing to look at all the dimensions of what's going on by using actually each of the cards from each of the groupings. So I've taken a card from each of these groupings. So let's see what we got. So I'm not gonna ask a specific question. I'm just gonna say, what is the consciousness in the moment that we need to be focusing on? And we have great gratitude. So this is a time where we need to be thankful for all of the beautiful things, the bounty in our life, but also to be grateful for maybe the more negative things that can show us where we're falling, where we need to grow a little bit. So being grateful actually for everything, for just being. The energy that we need to tune into right now is letting go of things that have held us back, have dragged us through life, that really we're not getting anywhere positive, but also to look at why we've held on to those things. Maybe we've been so grateful that we've actually just not wanted to let go of anything. But the part of gratitude also is to be grateful for change and to be grateful for the ability to let go. So letting go is a huge part of moving on in life, but it's also an energy that allows us to clear out things that are stagnating. So this is playing it safe. Our intentions are to hold on. So these two go together really well. Maybe we're just so happy in our situation. We don't want it to change and we're just trying to hold on to it. But obviously that's not going to last forever. It also shows her she's sitting in this little bubble. There's a huge world outside. She's just sitting within her fence, not wanting to explore anything else. And you can see all this sort of fireworks and energy of joy that she could find outside this. But she's just quite happy. She's not ready to let go. So maybe this is a lesson for us in, be grateful, be grateful for all the bounty in your life, but you also need to move on at some point. People. So this is what we need in our life now is a teacher. We need to have somebody that shows us how to move on from these things. That will bring us some insight, some understanding so that we can let go and stop playing it safe. Education is a great expander of the mind, so it will also give you new horizons. Events, commitment. So we need to make a commitment to change. We need to work with our teacher, our mentor. It may be a guide. It may be a therapist. It may be someone that you even read a book by, and they help you to see things as they are. But you need to make this commitment before you're going to be able to let go and change. It's not going to happen without the commitment. And this is your higher self. Your higher self is always something you need to tune into and listen. Listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, because your higher self is your guide, could be your teacher. Your higher self is the ultimate teacher because your higher self knows your soul's progress and what it needs to move on. And if we do this, we can see increase. So again, we can see that all the chakras here, these colors are chakras, but we can also see an increase of understanding and allowing us to travel on a new path. So you can see that without the understanding, we're not going to get the increase. We have to let go to get the increase, to grow in our understanding, which is our higher self. So thank you for listening. I think it's probably been a long video, but I think it's something that is very interesting to delve into if you're ready for the next level of reading, card reading, and to understand some of the laws of the quantum physics. And she goes much further into those laws in this guidebook. So this book These cards are published by Hay House, and again, if you liked her energy oracle cards, you're going to love these. These are like the energy oracle cards on steroids. So thanks for listening. I know it's been a long journey, but try it out and see how much depth you can get in your readings. The whole message is that we create our reality. And by understanding the underlying energies, intentions, consciousness, the people around us, the situations we find ourselves in a deeper level, we can achieve deeper understanding of our life and control over how we manifest things in our world. But it takes work and commitment. This is a really crucial card. It's not just something that's going to happen. So thanks for listening. If you like, please like and subscribe, and I'll be back soon with some more videos.